Hi everyone, my name is Elton Duzo, and today I'm going to be doing a book review on Weeping Tomato by Samantha Rumbidzai Vazhure. So I've been wanting to do this sort of thing, book reviews and all that, but I've been wanting to do that for a very long time, but I'm a very big procrastinator. But today I just told myself, okay, Elton, we are doing it. Let's just do a book review today. So I wasn't really prepared much, but you know, I'll just give a light review on Weeping Tomato. And first, I need also to thank the writer herself for this beautiful, beautiful piece of work. I got this book, guys, on the book, the launch, the event last year. It was October 2024. I got this beautiful piece of work, and thank you for getting me this book, Samantha. It was a great read. So let's get into the review. Before we go any further, we need to discuss about the cover, because I think that's the first thing that caught my eye when I looked at this book. The cover itself is strange. That's what I told myself. That's what I saw. I was like, this is very strange. What is that? What is that? And I took a closer look at it, and I could see, you can see that it's a woman that is there, and their hands that are touching her, or she's drowned in a sea of hands. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. She's in a sea of hands, and they're touching her. So I really tried to wanted to understand what really is going on here, because um the expression that is on her face, what do you see, guys? I could see a sense of despair or regret, but also I feel as if there's also a sense of pleasure there, like she might be enjoying whatever is going on here. I was like, what's going on? So the cover art itself, it hooked me, and also the title, Whipping Tomato. I was like, what does Whipping Tomato mean? I had no idea. So I had to get into the book to get the answers to these questions answered. Yeah. So we getting into the book, the first thing that hit me. So before you read the book, you are blessed with this beautiful piece of work, which is very strange, just as this is strange, or perhaps more stranger. So I was like, what's going on? Like, what is happening here? Like, can the prologue you explain to me what's going on here? I went into it, and the first thing you're hit with is the fact that the writer herself is a poet. So there's a lot of poetry. There's a lot of big words, flowing words, and all that. It's beautiful to read, but sometimes, um, uh, for instance, the first time I read this passage, I had to read it again about 2 3 times to get a sort of understanding of what's going on here, because I hadn't known yet that this is speculative. Yeah, I knew for a fact, because the line starts with the year is 2019, but I needed to get a sense of the world. And then, because she's a poet, and also because I am Shona, chirungu chakaenengarava, some of these in deep English words, they might take some time for us to process them and understand what's going on. But I was hooked with the prologue. It hooked me because it is a fresh idea. I really am intrigued by fresh ideas when it comes to writing, because it is futuristic Zimbabwe. It's something I'd never seen it anywhere. I think perhaps Samantha might be actually the first person to explore futuristic Zimbabwe, and the way it was presented, it was really, really beautiful. And the prologue itself, I had a lot of questions getting into it, and I had a lot of questions after reading the whole prologue. And I was expecting the rest of the book to answer my questions. So that's why it's a page turner. It's like Dan Brown's book, where you just keep on turning the pages because you want um, the answers to all your questions. So we get to the first part of the book, which is part one, and you have the cover art. here. And I was like, okay, now we're getting to the meat of the story. And then you get introduced to this different storyline, different from the one you get from the prologue. And I'm like, please, I need to get the answers to my prologue. And I was like, okay, let me wait. Let me keep on reading. Perhaps at the end of the day, this two plot lines are going to just converge and I'm going to get the answers to what I need. But on doing this, the writer needs to be really, really, really good. I think that's what I told myself was I had getting into the prologue, there were a lot of stuff that were like, this might not be good writing. I'm a critic. When I'm reading something, I'm looking for the things that are not good in that writing. That's what I was looking for. And I was like, reading the prologue, and I was like, because I'm very interested in speculative fiction. So I always, always have an eye when I'm reading that sort of stuff. So I was like, the author must prove herself. She must prove that she is a genius to pull something that like this, because some of the books that speculative fiction, it needs great writing. It needs to avoid expectations and to sorry, Chirungu Chaenda. She needs to subvert expectations. Oh, she needs to subvert expectations. She needs to subvert expectations. For instance, speculative fiction. So I went on reading and reading and reading, and so I get into part one. This completely different storyline. We're following the story of Zoro and her relationship with this boy she found online, which is something that is normal in this day and age, guys. A lot of the people that are getting married nowadays, they meet online. The advantages of the net, which are sometimes, as you see in this book, there are also a lot of disadvantages to that. I'm not going to say much because I don't want to spoil what's in the book, but believe me, the story that's here, it will get you hooked. It will get you frustrated, excited. You'll have a mixture of feelings as you're riding through these things. And I remember my time. There was a point in time where I was like, I wanted to throw this thing towards the walls because some of the things that were happening here, they were frustrating with the character, the decisions that they were making. I was like, no, man, this isn't it. You shouldn't do this. I really would want to discuss this in a sort of like a deeper level where we're going to be writing through the plot lines and the storylines, but I'm not going to do it here because I don't want to spoil you much. Um, we get into the ride. We get the story of Zoro, which is an amazing story, which is the book. But I don't think the heart of the story in itself, it lies within the epilogue, which is the ending of the book. And I need to show you the piece of work that is there. Where is it? Sorry. A few seconds. Give me a few seconds. Just look at this beautiful piece of work. It's strange, intriguing, and beautiful. This is a masterpiece, guys. Just look at this piece of work. Um, you get to the epilogue with this. That is, I feel, where the heart of the story lies. That's where you get your rewards, because all of the questions that I had when I first got into the book, they were answered instantly in the epilogue, and everything that you'd been reading, everything that seemed to not make sense, it starts making sense. And it is heartbreaking. I found it heartbreaking and also frustrating. And I have a lot of words that I need to share with the writer about the way the book was written. Not the way, but like the way the book ended. Because, um, you know, so, at times I feel like we need a sequel. What do you call it? A sequel, or yeah, it's a sequel. Hopefully that's the right word. Um, Part of me tells me we need a sequel, but part of me tells me we don't. I think we don't. But at the same time, I think we must have a sequel. So that's it on Weeping Tomato by Samantha Rumbidzai Vazhure. If you want to get your copy of the book, it's available online on all bookstores, online bookstores and retailers, I'm sure. And also you can contact Book Fantastics. They do deliveries in Zimbabwe. I don't know about outside Zimbabwe, but in Zimbabwe, contact Book Fantastics. Book Fantastics. And until we meet next time, cheers.